Okay, so I want to explain why I've been so insistent on you coming into the acceptance of your humanity. Just imagine that you have a collaborative piece of artwork. And that collaborative piece of artwork gets sent all around the world via the internet. And every person adds their unique flavor to that piece of artwork. And let's just say, for argument's sake, that the medium is street art. So street artists from all over the world add their unique signature, their unique resonance, their unique expression to this piece of artwork. And that every person, through their uniqueness, adds to the collective impact of the piece. Now, every single artist that contributes to this piece of artwork has had their unique journey. They've had their unique traumas, their unique pains, their unique joys, their unique human experiences. And it is those unique human experiences that allows them then to create in the way that they're creating, and then subsequently contribute to the overarching piece that's a collaborative global effort. And so how this relates to you, because most of you aren't Banksy or Space Invader, is that your experiences, every single thing that you've gone through, the trauma, the pain, the abuse, the suffering, the hardship, none of that needs to change. It just needs to be accepted. Because once it's accepted, it becomes an avenue through which you offer your service in this world. I'm going to say it again. You have been perfectly created, and you have perfectly chosen every experience that you've had in order to be of service. Now I'm going to explain why. Every time you dive into the depths of the human experiment, let's call it, and you identify with something or personalize something or attribute something to mean something about you, you then become a bridge for every other person who did the same thing. So for example, the reason why you don't have to fix, heal, change or improve your rage is because you become an avenue through which you connect with other people who have rage. So you'll never be able to 100% match the energy of another person, but you will have points of connection. The human story is an avenue of connection. This is why, Joseph Campbell had this framework of this universal story, this universal architecture of the hero or the heroine's journey, right? Well, why? Because he noticed that we all have these overarching themes that run through our lives, okay? And these themes have then subsequently been translated into movies, but prior to them being translated into movies, they were present in ancient scriptures, ancient texts, and ancient stories. So if we were to actually change something about you, then that would render you ineffective as it relates to your contribution to the world. If we were to actually change something about you, then we would render you ineffective as it relates to your contribution to the world. Now, what happens when we accept these things? Well, let's use cancer as an example. Let's say you get a cancer diagnosis, okay, and you're on this journey of cancer. The very second you accept that you're on the journey of cancer and no longer resist what's happening, you end the war with it. And then you realize that even that diagnosis is the avenue through which you end up in the hospital that you're meant to be in, you meet the nurses that you're meant to meet, you meet the doctors that you're meant to meet, you all of a sudden then begin to impact the other patients that happen to be there at the time. So every single thing that you've gone through becomes an avenue through which your light is shared in the world. Does this make sense? Are you tracking me? So if you go through a divorce, let's say you go through a particularly nasty divorce, yeah? You then become an avenue through which you can connect with other people who have gone through nasty divorces, right? Let's say all of a sudden you become famous and successful. Now, because you've had that unique experience, you can relate to people who are famous and successful. Do you see? So nothing in your life needs to change.